Welcome to the Meat and Potatoes podcast. Today we're here with Britnie Larsen, who's the founder and CEO of Pierce Co. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I am good. This will be the first time we've talked about earrings
Awesome.
on the Meat and Potatoes podcast. So congrats.
Thank you.
And we do have some samples here for those viewing. Nice little packaging, and the earrings are very cool. My daughters are going to be excited. And that's the story ultimately that we're going to tell.
Yep.
So let's start with like your background and ultimately what led you to Pierce Co. And then we'll start in with like the actual meat and potatoes of the podcast.
Perfect. I love it. My business story started a long time ago, actually. We owned a dress rental company in Orem, and we built that up for a few years. I had a baby, and then we sold it, and we moved to Bountiful. And my parents are entrepreneurs, and I swear it's just in my blood. I just love the creativeness of it, figuring out what works, what doesn't work, and I'm very creative in like with my hands and trying to make things. So I was making hair bows for little girls, and it was doing awesome. I had a subscription, but it was almost unscale, or it was scaling too much where I couldn't. It wasn't sustainable, and so I was up till 4 a.m. It was really affecting my family. But I had this awesome group of moms and women that were buying my product that I had all these relationships with. And I love business, and I'm so business minded that I was like, I know something needs to change. I need to pivot. At the same time, my daughter, who was 4 at the time, started asking to get her ears pierced. And I grew up having really sensitive ears. I could never wear the cute earrings that all my friends wore. And eventually I just stopped wearing earrings. As an adult, I didn't wear earrings for years. And so I was really nervous about her having that same experience. So I started researching different materials that wouldn't irritate her ears, and just different styles and what would work. And I just couldn't find anything. And so I decided to test different earrings from manufacturers and different materials. And I had literally, my counter was full of cups of water with different earring materials sitting in them for months, seeing what would tarnish, what wouldn't, what would irritate my ears. And I finally nailed down a material, and I was like, well, this is a great pivot from bows. And I still had that market of moms that would, support me. And so in 2021, we started doing earrings instead of bows. So
Very cool.
yeah.
That's nice that you already had kind of the group baked in.
Yeah.
You could send them an email or however you communicate with them and say, guess what?
Yeah.
It's earrings now.
Yeah. And everyone was so supportive, and is a great community I have the best community of moms and customers that were just so excited about it. So it was
cool.
awesome. Yeah.
I love when non-scientists engage in like research and development. I do the same thing with my garden. And usually it ends poorly, right? Because the science actually does matter sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just picturing you with all of these earrings and in water. So ultimately, like a lot of them didn't meet muster.
Yeah.
And through like the miracle of the internet and your research and development, you landed on the solution, which is?
So it is the highest medical grade stainless steel that you can get. So it's what is put in people's bodies if they need to. So we use a really high grade medical stainless steel, and they're 18 karat gold plated. And then we went a step further, and they are PVD coated, and it's a vacuum coat. It's a clear coat that goes on the earrings. It just protects them longer. It makes them last longer, even though they'll last forever. But it just makes them last that much longer. So they're waterproof. You can wear them in the pool, at the beach. I wear them to the gym. My daughter bathes in them, and they're totally normal.
Very
totally
cool.
fine. Yeah.
So for me, this seems daunting of like reaching out to get the materials, ultimately landing on what you want. What is the process after that? Like you ping the company and say, I need 1,000, I need 500. Right. And then, cause all of your earrings are different.
Yes.
Did you make like the first batch Again, I'm just picturing you
Yeah.
with like little pliers and however you make earrings.
Oh my gosh, no, I could not.
Okay.
I can do fabric. I cannot make things out of metal. Um, but I design all the earrings, so I'll come up with the designs, and then my manufacturer is really good at digitally designing it for me, and then I can tweak whatever I want, and then they actually make it. So we put there's a lot of screwback earrings out there. A lot of them have their round ball, which when you lay on your head is a little bit more uncomfortable. So we do a flat back. So when you lay down, it's flat and it doesn't bother your ear. So they helped me manufacture that and get that ready. But I've been with the same manufacturer this entire time, and we have a great relationship, and they're awesome to work with. But yeah, so I design all the products. They make them for me, and it's fully customizable, which is awesome.
Very
So,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah, on your website, I was noticing a few like back to school.
Yep.
And like birthstones.
Mm-hmm.
And that to me seems like one of the funnest parts is like the creative side.
Yeah.
Eventually, you've got to pull up a spreadsheet and see if it all pencils out.
Yes.
But the creative side's very fun. What is the process for you on like the artistic creative side?
I'm not a great sketcher. But like I said, my manufacturer is awesome. I'll tell them some ideas that I have, or I'll try sketching things out, and they will help me come up with the final design. But it's really just, I talk to my daughter. My 6-year-old little girl does it with me. I mean, as much as she can, right? She's like putting stickers on packages.
Yeah.
She's not sending emails, but
Not yet.
not yet. But her name's Ren. And I would be like, what do you want to see? What do you like? And we just kind of go from there. And we actually have a monthly subscription where every month the girls get a different pair of earrings every month. And that's been fun to design. I'll ask my customers, what are you guys wanting to see? What are you looking for? And I mean, really the options are endless. I don't
Yeah.
see us ever running out of designs that we can do.
Yeah.
So
from the time you're coming up with the idea and working with your manufacturer on like the digital to when it's actually being shipped to somebody, what's the average timeline for that?
it's about 2 to 3 months.
Okay. So
Yeah.
pretty quick.
Pretty quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is nice.
And which ones so far are kind of either your favorites because they sell the most or they're nostalgia? Which ones are your favorites?
Oh gosh. My favorite pair, do you mean like my favorite pair that I've done?
Yeah.
Has probably been a like little daisy flower that has leaves on it. It's just simple. It's universal. It's, for moms and daughters, which is nice. It's not very childish.
Yeah.
So yeah, probably just the simple designs I
Yeah.
like the most.
Cool.
But, yeah.
And with your experience with the bow company, I'm not in this world too much, but I know like there's obviously subscriptions are good.
Yeah.
Recurring revenue. There's obviously like the social media aspect, and there's a lot of things to kind of keep track of.
Yeah.
What is the business model that you've landed on with Pierced Co? You mentioned the subscriptions. What else is out there?
I would say the biggest thing is just being direct to consumer and working with my customers. My favorite part is working with my customers and building relationships with them. And I mean, to me, my customer is everything, right? I probably send out more for earrings than I should. I was telling you that earlier. But I'm so appreciative of them, and I wouldn't be here, and Pierced Co wouldn't be where it was without them. And so it's really, I mean, my business model, I feel like, is my customer, if
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Mhm.
They just are awesome and really everything to
Yeah.
me. So
We've had a few folks over the past year or so that had, influencers and ambassadors and things like that. What has been your strategy with those types of folks?
I think it's been awesome. I feel like it's been great. I love working with the influencers and the social media and things like that. But really, I feel like what has helped me grow is my customer. They're the ones actually wanting the product and buying the product over and over. and they're the ones that love it. You know, an influencer has been great, especially for the reach. I actually just barely started this month doing paid ads. I hadn't this entire time, and I've been able to scale and grow to a point that it's almost unsustainable for just me right now. But so I feel like the reach for influencers has been awesome, and there's some that I've become really close friends with. So, yeah.
Yeah. And you mentioned like the scaling with the bow company, and it sounds like the scaling here is getting to an inflection point. How do you kind of circle the wagons? When do you know when you'll need to like bring somebody else on? Because it's not fun wearing all the hats.
It's not. Well, that's like the $1 million question, right?
Yeah.
I know. I feel like I'm to the point where I need help, and I'm just not sure where that help would be. So I'm trying to nail down really what can I really control, and what am I best at, and where are my weaknesses that I could hire out or find, a business partner to help with. So, my wholesale. I'm in a few shops, and I would love to push wholesale. That's probably for 2024 a really big push for me. Same with my subscription model, but it's just, who do you hire first?
Right.
And
the wholesale model would be like kind of boutiques or like big box retail.
Yeah.
Where do you tackle?
I would love to be in Nordstrom or Target, but I think I love small businesses, and I love the people that are behind small businesses. And for me, as awesome as it would be to be in Nordstrom and Target, I love the mom and pop shops, like we're in the Baby Cubby right now, and you actually get to talk to the owner and work with them and get to know, their struggles and everything. So I would love to just be in smaller boutiques that have, awesome products and great brands that will help elevate mine as well. And hopefully I could do the same for them.
Yeah.
So,
for me, like the end part right before all of the work, that was the fun part, is like the shipping, which nobody's had anything really fun to say about for the last couple of years.
yeah.
What are you doing with like the last mile, like the shipping component? Because I assume that impacts the scalability.
It does. So we tried a fulfillment company, and I think I just wasn't quite ready. It was maybe a little bit premature. So I actually brought everything back to my house, and I'm a one-woman show besides my 6-year-old, who loves to be the model and help put stickers on packages. And if they come upside down, I'm sorry, but
No, it's just a cute aspect.
Yeah. But it's hard because with shipping and fulfillment, with me, I know I understand what it is to have a brand. And I feel like from the first point of contact with your customer to the last, when the package arrives, there needs to be a story, and there needs to be a certain image and look with that. And I feel like going to a fulfillment company almost lost that for me in a sense. And I think I'll get to the point where I can have that and still have that in place. But for now, it worked where I'm the one shipping them out, and it's just it's my baby.
Yeah. Yeah. You still control the whole vertical integration.
Yes, for sure.
Depending on, like your predisposition to data and math and analytics, in talking to other companies similar to you, like consumer goods, some have been like really focused on that. Others are still like, it's just my gut instinct.
Yeah.
Where do you land as far as like the data and what the market's telling you and the customers versus your intuition?
As far as sales,
Yeah.
do you mean? I honestly, we every month are just growing. Like my subscription is growing almost 50% every month. So I need to be more data driven, but I feel like the sales for me just show where we're at, and we, if anything, have been growing humongously from month to month from the beginning of this year. So I feel like I'm probably in the middle, where I look at the data and I need to see it, but my gut is telling me that we're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. What do you do when like new ideas pop into your brain and you're like, ugh, I like that idea, and you start debating with yourself of like, it's probably too early and I shouldn't get distracted. How do you kind of keep your focus on what's working?
So if you saw my phone, I have the little notes section is full of, I actually have a notes section of just different ideas. So I'll jot it down, but then I have one that also just helps my goals that I can go back to and be like, okay, does this align with my goals for, Q4 or for next year or for even just Pierce Co in general? And if it doesn't, then I at least have it written down where I can maybe, tackle that down the road. But it also, I have my other goals that'll help. If it aligns, that's great. If not, then, it's easy for me to look and see where I want to go and kind of keep on track for that.
Yeah. That is something that comes up quite frequently with entrepreneurs is the chasing of the squirrels.
Yes.
And it is a discipline.
Mm-hmm.
Some have had success in chasing the squirrels, but most are like, oh, that was a waste.
Yeah.
I should have waited, or the timing was off.
Yeah.
And oftentimes it's just the timing. So
Yeah.
keeping a good note system is
well, my mom
positive.
would be like, you should do bracelets with charms, and because I do charms for earrings. And I was like, oh, that's a really good idea. So I started doing research, and I was like, no, just focus on the earrings. It's going awesome. You don't need to add in another category, or, if it just focus on what's working right now.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Easier said than done.
Absolutely.
As you look into the future, the industry as a whole of folks that are ultimately like happy customers, whether it's like supplements, earrings, anything like that, like your point, and you're obviously dialed in on that, is like if they tell their friends, where'd you get that? Oh, I got it from here. Oh, that's so cute. That's kind of free marketing for you.
Yeah.
With that element kind of being at the forefront, what other markets or distribution channels are the easiest and low-hanging fruit, in your opinion?
I would say, do you mean like besides my customers?
Mm-hmm. Or, way to get new customers.
Social media is huge. That's where most of my growth has come from. Like I said, I haven't done any ads or advertising. It's just all strictly been social media. I was also lucky because I also had a good customer base transitioning to earrings with me.
Yeah.
That I had a personal relationship with these women. So I think that was really helpful. But I would also say I love going to live events and meeting people, face to face, which is hard to do when you're one person and to go everywhere. But I would rather, instead of having, a ton of customers I'd love to have a ton of customers that would just buy all the time, but having a personal relationship with that customer just brings so much more value, even financially over time, than, just someone seeing me online. Does that make sense? So I love the face-to-face, going to different markets, having a booth, pinners conference, things like that.
Yeah. We were talking before, and I mentioned I don't buy hardly anything over the course of a decade online. But if I go to a farmer's market or, some pop-up thing, I'll leave with tons of stuff that I don't need.
Yeah.
Because like you're looking at the entrepreneur in the face and you're like, my goodness, how awesome is this? For me, and I'd assume a lot of other people, it's way cooler. And yeah, I don't have pierced ears, but yeah, I'll buy 2 pairs of earrings. Of course. Why wouldn't I?
Yeah. Like I'll find someone to give them
it's
to.
Way better, right? Like,
yeah.
And I put them in like a box that's for future Christmas and birthday presents for when I inevitably forget.
Yeah.
So it works out well.
Yep.
And I just give them cash, and I don't get in their vortex of distribution like social media and emails and stuff because I don't have that. But it works so much better, at least for people like me. So I think that's a smart strategy for what it's worth.
Yes.
The supply chain, because you mentioned that, stainless steel and 24 karat gold. Any issues with that? Any
I haven't
concerns?
seen anything. I am a little concerned for the future just because I don't know what that's looking like. So I'm actually trying to find a stainless steel manufacturer in the United States that I could work with if I ever needed to go down that road. I would just love to already have some contacts made so there's no, lapse in production. But yeah, I've had no issues with, supply chain or anything like that. I've been very lucky. And with COVID too, there was like nothing too. So
Well, that's good.
yeah.
Last question. If you don't know the answer, it's perfectly fine. But the demographics of folks that use earrings more than others, do you have like a sense of whether it's a heat map of America or the world of where the majority of your customers are?
Majority for right now are 100% United States. I have a lot of Canada customers, but it's mostly U.S. based. So I'm actually working with the World Trade Center of Utah right now to help me go international when I'm ready. I don't feel like I'm quite there yet. I'm really hesitant to do things prematurely. I just would love to be able to feel 100% in on it before I jump into something else. But eventually I'd love to go international, but right now it's definitely the US, and it's moms, women, girls.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I guess an advantage you have if the mom who has like, the debit card.
Yep.
And the little girl saying, I really would like those. If she likes them too, there's no reason she can't wear them as well, right?
Right. Yeah, so like I said, I grew up, before I created Pierce Co., I hadn't worn earrings in years. I would even buy the really, really expensive earrings or go to an actual jeweler, and they would itch and irritate my ears, so I didn't wear anything. So when I started making Pierce and noticed I could wear them all the time, I started telling my friends and they would wear them. And then I've actually had a lot of customers reach out, which are some of my favorite messages to get that I get probably every day, is a mom being like, oh my gosh, I put my daughter's earrings on because I loved them and they don't irritate my ears. Like, this is amazing. And they're blown away because they've never been able to find anything that they can wear. They're like me. They didn't wear them for years. And so that's been really fun to, my niche and my target market is our kids and children. But I love when the mom can come in and see that she has found something for herself too.
Yeah.
So
that's another little nice baked in advantage.
yes, which also down the road, I could create a whole category for women. It really just opens up the opportunity so much more that, which is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the fact that the earrings don't irritate and cause itchiness probably makes customer support a lot better and easier.
Yes. It's huge.
Yeah.
So
No returns and that type of thing.
yeah. So we've probably done over tens of thousands of earrings sold, and I actually have 100% sensitive free guarantee where if you get the earrings and they irritate yours or your daughter's ears, I have no questions asked. Just email me and say these irritated my ears, and I'll refund their order. And I've not once had to do that,
Very
which
cool.
I'm very proud of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
So
makes that part of the job a lot easier.
it does. I know. So
I love it.
it makes it easy to stand behind your product.
Yeah.
So
which a lot of folks can't do. And
right.
there's a lot of returns flying through the air.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Britnie, for taking the time to join us. These are some of my favorite stories where, again, a bunch of water with earrings in it on the kitchen counter and ultimately just figuring it out as you go, like the essence of entrepreneurship. And the fact that you're doing it with your daughter is amazing. And she's going to learn who knows how much, just valuable stuff. And it's just going to be natural.
Yeah. I hope she takes over the reins someday. I love that my kids get to grow up and see that their mom is passionate about something and that I'm creating something that they can be a part of too.
Yeah.
So,
and ultimately, all these girls that get these in the mail or, in this case, I'll be giving these to my daughters. Like, it just ultimately makes them happy at the end.
yeah.
Which is cool.
Yep. for our subscription, actually, there's a lot of moms that will address the package to their daughter.
Oh,
And so their daughter gets their own little package every month. And it's just been a really positive thing, which is exactly what I want to do.
yeah.
If it didn't bring happiness to somebody, I wouldn't want to be doing it. So,
Yeah. Good for you. Well, thank you so much. Congrats on what you've built so far. And it sounds like it's kind of just in the early innings, and
Yeah.
you've got a fun future ahead of you.
for sure. Thank you so much.